Hi friends, today I chosen the topic which is about the device which we will use in our daily life. The device is the electric motor. So now in today's topic I have chosen the book. The explanation is good, so I will proceed with the book, and as usual I will say step by step. So for better understanding, try to check and try to see the video up to the last. Next, in my next video I will upload that is about generators, so the exact opposite of the motors. So try to see the next video also. So before entering into our topic, first I will say how I divided the parts. So I divided the total topic into three parts, that is electric motor and its principle, next its construction, and working and theory. So let's go to our topic, that is electric motor. It is a device which converts electrical energy into mechanical energy. So from this we can say that this electric motor is satisfying law of conservation. So that is, one form of energy is converted into another form. Electrical energy is converted into mechanical energy. So electric motor we have done. Next, principle. It is based on the principle that current carrying conductor placed perpendicular to the magnetic field experiences a coil force. So according to this point, whatever the principle is there, it says that whenever a conductor, if it is current is passing through the conductor, and if the conductor is placed in the magnetic field, it experiences some force. So this is the diagram. See, I have taken a coil, and this coil I have supplied some current, and this coil is placed in between of two magnets. And see, if we know from one side to another side of the magnets, magnetic field will be there in between the magnets. And if you place a coil in between the magnets, what happens? This coil, whichever it is consisting of current flow in it, it experiences some force on it. So see, if the coil is in parallel to the magnetic field, there will be no force. But if the coil is perpendicular to the magnetic field, then the coil experiences some force. So this all you will see because of the Fleming's left hand rule, where the coil will rotate. This rotation of coil is a main role of this working of electric motor. We will see this, why it is important in our total electric motor. Next, construction. Friends, construction is simple, and yet construction is explained step by step with each parts. So let's check what is the construction they are explaining. So construction, armature coil. So here is a coil. See, the coil is of rectangular coil. I will go for this point first. It contains a single loop of an insulated copper wire in the form of rectangle. So this is the copper wire which is in the form of rectangular shape, where current can be passed. Next, strong magnetic field. So armature coil is placed between two permanent poles of a strong magnet. So there is a magnet where the two poles, north and south, we know in this from north to south the magnetic field will be there, and coil is placed in between of the magnets. This is the point. Next, split ring commutator. It consists of two halves, C1 and C2, of a metallic ring. The two ends of the armature coil are connected to these two halves of the ring. Commutator reverses the direction of the current in the armature coil. So friends, this is the split ring commutator. So they are divided into two parts, that is C1 and C2. The conductor, the current carrying wire, or the we can say it as a coil, this is connected to the commutators, that is C1 and C2. So the main role of this commutator is to reverse the current flow. So why the important of reverse of making the current flow, we will see total in the explanation. Next, brushes. Two carbon brushes B1 and B2 press against the commutator. These brushes act as a contact between the commutator and terminals of the battery. So I will say about these brushes. See, brushes, they are simple, like we know the brushes general while painting the houses, just we will touch the paint to the wall. Same way, if the current is passing to the brush, this brush just it passes current to the commutator. See, the brushes are close contact where the current can be processed from battery to the commutators. See, B1 is connected to C1 and B2 is connected to C2. Next, battery. Battery we know it is group of cells where current can be passed a battery is connected across the carbon brushes, the battery supplies the current to the armature coil. So friends, it is easy, simple point. The battery will be connected and with the help of the brushes and commutator, the current will be passed from battery to coil. This is the point about total construction and the whatever the materials it is involved in the motor. Let's go to the working. So working I will explain 2 times. See, with the points I will explain 1 time and total video at last I will explain 1 more time. Try to check up to the last, don't miss any point. When current flows through the coil, AB and CD experiences magnetic force. So the current is passing through the coil. What happens? Already we have seen in the principle. If a coil is placed in between of the 2 magnets where the magnetic field is passing, and if the current is passing in the coil wherever the current is passing, this will experiences some force. Next, in the arm AB of the coil experiences a force in one direction. Similarly in CD it experiences in opposite direction. So friends, here once check. Let us assume A to B. It is from south to north. The direction is, see the arrow. It will be from south to north. Next, coming to CDC, it is exactly opposite of AB. So the direction of the current will be vary from AB and CD. This is the point. Opposite direction the current flow will be there in the 2 sides. Next, these 2 equal and opposite forces constitute of a couple which rotates the coil. So what happens? These 2 make the coil to rotate. So here the Fleming's left hand rule plays role. So the Fleming's left hand rule, see, if you stretch your forefinger of your left hand, it indicates the current direction, and middle finger it indicates magnetic field, and thumb finger shows the force. So according to this, if the current is passing to this, we know the magnetic field will be like it is in the middle finger, from north to south, and we know current it will be from south to like the forefinger, south to north, the forefinger stretching, and the force it makes it upwards. Next, in this case, as the direction is reverse, try to reverse your left hand. So we can see the thumb rule, the force will be downsides. So the CD will move downwards. So the AB moves up and CD moves down. This is the case of this coil. Next, at this position, the supply of the current to the coil is cut off because contacts of the commutator and brushes break. So what happens? After off rotation, there is a chances of the breaking of the contacts. Next, hence no force acts on the arms of the coil. So if there is a chances of breaking of the contacts, so there will be no force. Next, the coil will not come to rest because of the rotational inertia of motion till the commutator again comes in the contact with the brushes B1 and B2. So though the contacts are getting break, as they are in rotational in motion, due to inertia, what happens? The coil again comes to its initial positions. Next, the 7th point, once check. Now the direction of the coil in the arms AB and CD is reversed. So these points I will say with the help of the diagram, no need to worry. Then the couple again rotates in the opposite direction. So as the polarities are changing, whatever the couple again rotates in opposite direction. This is the point. As polarities are changing, so they will rotate in opposite directions. Next, the coil of the DC motor continues to rotate in the same direction, hence electrical energy is converted into mechanical energy. So this is the point up to DC motor working. Next, to how to increase the speed of the rotation. These are the 4 points. See, the speed of the rotation of the motor depends on current through the armature. So how much current it is passing through the coil. Next, number of turns of the coil. So how many turns the coil it has. Next, area of the coil. So what is the length and width of the coil. Next, magnetic induction. Based on these 4 points, the speed of the rotation of the motor can be determined. Next, coming to total explanation, I already said, at last I will explain. So friends, whatever the points you may be listen or not still now, but listen now, it is important. Total explanation I will give from construction to total. So once check, there are the 2 magnets, and we know in between of the magnets magnetic field will be there. Next, in these magnets, in this magnetic field, we are placing one rectangular coil where current can be passed. Next, this rectangular coil ends are connected to the commutator. we will call split rings it is. So they are splitting into two parts, that is C1 and C2. Next, for this split ring we have to pass the current. So this current will be given from the brushes. So this is B1 and B2. So B1 for the C1 and B2 for the C2. This is the brushes. Next, these brushes are again connected to the battery, one to the positive, another to the negative. This is the total construction, friends. Next, go for the working. If we pass the current, what happens? The positive will be go to the B1 and next C2 and next goes to the A to B. It is in one direction. Next, as it is passing, the polarities, see, it is from one direction A to B, and in this case it is total opposite C. It is from north to south, that is C to D. Again it comes to C2 and again B2, it finishes at the negative. So total the closed circuit is finished. Next, what happens? As commutator makes off rotation, there is a chances of breaking. Why? Because so the AB, it is connected to B1 but it goes to the B2. So what happens? There is chances of breaking. Next, in this off rotation, the AB, it experiences the force from, as using the Fleming's left hand rule, the AB experiences the force of topwards, means top side. It moves top, and the CD it experiences the movement of the coil to the bottom. So it moves top and it moves bottom. So the coil makes one perpendicular direction. It moves, rotates. Next, after moving off rotation, what happens means, see, the polarities we have to change. These polarities will be changed by the brushes. See, the AB, whatever it is there for the C1, it makes off, and the AB previous whatever it got positive, it gets negative in this case. Next, the CD, previous it got negative, but it making off rotation, it gets positive. So the continuous passing of current makes the commutator to continuously rotate. By this, the total coil will rotate continuously, and the motor runs without any limit. By this, the motor can experience it. It is making the electrical energy into mechanical energy. This is the total. We have seen the principle and the working of the motor. So I already said the generator is exactly opposite same. There the mechanical energy will be converted to electrical energy. So don't miss the next video also. I hope you have understood the motor.